Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Welcome back to another episode of my Premier League Gaming predictions. This weekend is of course game week 14, so we're well and truly into the Christmas period now. As a matter of fact, this is the last game week before Christmas. And yeah, before we get into these predictions, I want to quickly ask you guys to subscribe to the channel as per usual. We are looking to hit 900 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. We're actually closing in heavily on that, so if we can hit it in the next few days, that'd be much appreciated. So yeah, if you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do so because it costs you absolutely nothing and makes my day, so a win-win situation. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into predicting the Game Week 14 Premier League fixtures. Okay guys, so just a quick interruption in this video because it does seem there's a bit of an issue with the audio. I mean, it just seems a bit high-pitched at times, but yeah, I have just fixed the issue there and hopefully it should be okay in future videos, so yeah, enjoy the video. Starting off at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Now, Liverpool got a resounding win over Spurs during the week on Wednesday night to, in my opinion, put them as the front runners for the Premier League title this season. However, Crystal Palace will be a tougher nut to crack than they do think because, of course, Palace can be a resilient side when they want to be. However, they do not have 2,000 fans like they did against Spurs last weekend, which I think purely drove Palace on to draw that game against Spurs, and obviously they don't have that this weekend, which is desperately disappointing. And Crystal Palace do have some decent players like Wilfried Zaha, you know, Eberechi Eze, Jordan Ayew's getting a return to the team after Christian Benteke's suspension after the red card against West Ham during the week. But overall, I just feel like Liverpool have too much firepower. They're on a roll at the moment. They're the favourites for the Premier League title once again, in my opinion. I think they'll win this relatively comfortably, and that's why I've gone for Crystal Palace 0, Liverpool 2, for Liverpool to go top of the table going into Christmas. Now on to the next game now, Southampton versus Manchester City. Now, if I'm being perfectly honest, it's a really weird scenario here because on paper, if you look at this game, Southampton are probably the favourites going into this, which is just mental to say. Because Southampton are at this moment in time third in the Premier League. They've had an absolutely unbelievable season under Ralph Hasenhüttl so far this season. City, on the other hand, looking really sluggish so far this season. Obviously, drawing with West Brom on Wednesday night wasn't really great. However, in saying that, Manchester City, they usually do bounce back with a result when they do get a result that doesn't go their way, and that is why I think they will marginally beat Southampton, and that is why I've gone for Southampton 1, Man City 2. Now, I do think Southampton could potentially win this game because they do have 2,000 fans in the ground for this game as well, but I just think that City will bounce back from that disappointing result in midweek against West Brom. I think they'll win 2-1. Now on to the game at Goodison Park on Saturday between Everton and Arsenal. Now, 2,000 Everton fans will be going to this game, which is very good to see. Everton back to winning ways in recent weeks. 2 wins in 2 over Chelsea and Leicester have put them right back into the top half of the table. However, for this game, they are missing Alan, and it's still a 50-50 whether James Rodriguez will be fit. They're still missing Coleman and Digne, both their fullbacks as well, so a lot of players missing for Everton for this game. Arsenal got a decent result in considering the circumstances they're in this season against Southampton during the week with 10 men once again. Can they finish this game with 11 men? That is the main question. They did show glimpses of promise. They showed a bit of fight overall, I think, Arsenal, so I do think that they will get something from this game, added onto the fact as well that Everton have 2,000 fans. But I just think that Arsenal will mainly get a point from this game simply because of the fact that the players Everton are missing. And yeah, I think it'll be a draw, and I think it will be Everton 1, Arsenal 1. But as I said, it wouldn't be surprising whatsoever if Everton did win this game. Now onto the next game, Newcastle versus Fulham. Probably, you know, that game of the weekend that's not really appeasing for most people, but I do actually rate Fulham. I mean, I go on about every single week. If you guys know me, you know I rate Fulham so highly. And they've got back-to-back draws now. I mean, they're picking up a lot more points than they did after the horrific start they had to the season, which is always positive for Fulham. And Newcastle, on the other hand, got absolutely slapped up by Leeds on I think it was Wednesday night. They're normally a hard team to break down as well. Steve Bruce normally has them well structured at the back, so to concede 5 goals is desperately disappointing. They'll be looking to put that right this weekend, and I think they will, because overall I feel like on paper, if you go through the teams, I mean, I think Fulham are a way better side in terms of the football they play and the players they do have fit for the game. But I just think that Newcastle, they do kind of, you know, grind out results every now and then, and I think this will be one of them. I think it will be Newcastle 2, Fulham 1. Now on to Brighton versus Sheffield United. Now Brighton are one of those teams that we all thought would do well at the start of the season. I mean, a lot of people were predicting that Brighton would finish around mid-table, but they've been slowly sucked into the relegation battle over the recent weeks, so they'll definitely want to get a result here against Sheffield United to put things right. Sheffield United, on the other hand, have lost once again. They lost to Manchester United on Thursday, so right like a half an hour ago after the time of this recording, and yeah, if they do lose to Brighton this weekend, they'll go into Christmas with 1 point to their name. I mean, that is absolutely embarrassing, if I'm honest. In fairness to them, though, they did show a lot of fight against Manchester United, particularly in the first half. I think one desperately disappointing blow for them is the fact that they're missing Sander Berge in midfield, who in my opinion is their best player by a country mile. But yeah, I just think that Sheffield United, they have to get at least a result. I mean, I don't think they'll win against Brighton because I do think Brighton plays some decent football. I do think that both teams will get a result in this one. I think it'll be Brighton 1, Sheffield United 1. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Sheffield United just about nicked a win here because, you know, if I'm honest, they really do need it. But yeah, overall I've gone for a draw. On to the next one now, Tottenham versus Leicester at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Tottenham, absolutely heartbreaking for them to lose to Liverpool in the 90th minute with a header for Roberto Firmino. They'll want to put things right under Jose Mourinho at the weekend against Leicester in this one. However, this will be a tough game for them once again because even though Leicester did fall to a defeat against Everton in midweek, Leicester are a very strong side. They do have Johnny Evans back from suspension and Wilfred Ndidi, who is back to full fitness now after that long-term injury. and Leicester were just really poor during the week against Everton in my opinion. And then, to be honest, I think Jose Mourinho will have this drilled into his players that they need to bounce back with a win here. I think they will do it. I think it'll be Tottenham 2, Leicester 1, but I think it'll be really close, and I do think that Spurs will marginally win this one. Now onto the game that I would potentially say is the best game of the weekend on paper, and that is Manchester United versus Leeds. You know, an old derby from the Premier League history. Leeds just looked absolutely incredible against Newcastle during the week, obviously beat Newcastle 5-2 and just looked fluid in attack as always. Man United on the other hand though are actually grinding out results. I mean, I think they're up to 5th in the Premier League right now, so Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't really get enough credit with this United team because even though they're not really playing well in many games this season, they are picking up points, so fair play to them. And I think this game really sets us up for a bit of a thriller in this one because Leeds of course are an all-out attack team. They literally just attack from the heavens from minute 0 to minute 90. United are very dangerous on the counter-attack, so I think that Leeds will get a lot of opportunities to go forward, and United will get a lot of opportunities to counter Leeds because Leeds will go forward so much. And I'm not going to lie, I think there will be goals in this one. I mean, there's two teams that are very dangerous going forward and not great at the back now. Watch it be 0-0 once I said that, but to be honest, I just really can't see any team losing this, and that is why I've gone for Manchester United 2, Leeds United 2, but yeah, definitely a game that could go either way with the amount of goals that I expect in this one. Now on to another derby game in the Midlands, West Bromwich Albion versus Aston Villa. Now Sam Allardyce's first game in charge of the Baggies after Slaven Bilic got sacked somehow after a 1-1 draw at the Etihad. I mean, I can't still wrap my head around that one, but anyway, Sam Allardyce is appointed West Brom manager and this will be his first game. Will he be able to bring that new manager bounce to this West Brom side with immediate effect, and most importantly, will he be able to keep up this West Brom side in the Premier League this season? Because I think if he does that, it will be an absolutely monumental achievement. Aston Villa will be dangerous in this game though because they have a fully fit squad. Douglas Luiz is back, Matty Cash is back, Ross Barkley could be back as well, although I don't think he'll start the game. And yeah, it's a really hard one to predict, especially with Sam Allardyce's arrival, because I do think that if Slaven Bilic was still in charge and they didn't have that new manager bounce, I do think that Aston Villa would win this one fairly comfortably, but because of the bounce that Allardyce may bring to this West Brom side, I've gone for a draw. I've gone for West Bromwich Albion 1, Aston Villa 1, but yeah, definitely a game that could go either way. Now on to Burnley versus Wolves at Turf Moor, a pretty interesting one between two sides that don't score a lot but also don't concede a lot as well. To be fair to them, they're both very solid at the back, these two teams. Burnley, to be fair to them, not on the worst of form. I think it took them like 9 or 10 matches to actually win a Premier League game, and obviously they've picked up a few points here and there recently, and yeah, they're looking quite solid. Wolves got a great win against Chelsea, their first victory since Raul Jimenez's injury against Arsenal. Obviously I talk about that every single week because it is of course a massive blow to Wolves. And yeah, as I said, it's just two teams that don't score a lot but also don't concede a lot, so it's pretty much set up for a really low scoring game. I think this will be a low scoring weekend in general, but in this game I've gone for a narrow Wolves win. I've gone for Burnley 0, Wolves 1. And the final game of the weekend, the final game before Christmas 2020, and that is Chelsea versus West Ham United, another London derby. Chelsea well and truly up against it now under Frank Lampard. For those of you who don't know, of course, I am a Chelsea fan, so yeah, we're really up against it now after, you know, a lightning 2 months between October and December. We've got 2 defeats on the bounce now to Everton and Wolves. And on the other hand, West Ham looking really strong. As a matter of fact, West Ham are actually only 1 point below us in the Premier League table, so definitely a tighter match than people think on paper. However, I do think that we will get back to winning ways. Now, not only that, I think it'll be relatively comfortable for us. I think it'll be a resounding win, and I've gone for Chelsea 3, West Ham United 0. Maybe a bold prediction for some of you, but I just think that, you know, after the 2 wins, we'll want to bounce back. We'll want to be, you know, back inside the title race going into Christmas, and yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable 3-0 win for Chelsea, and for some reason I just have a feeling we will get a clean sheet in this one, so yeah, 3-0. And yeah, those are my game week predictions for game week 14. If you want to go ahead and leave your predictions for these games down in the comment section below, feel free to do so, because I'm very interested to see how you guys think these games will go. And yeah, that will bring us to the end of this video now, so if you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like on the video. 15 likes on this video would be massively appreciated as usual. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, because as I said at the start of this video, we are closing in heavily on 900 subscribers, so if you can hit that in the next few days, that will be massively appreciated. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. See ya.